Hello and welcome to another flawlessly produced and delivered episode of the Kind of Funny Games Daily for Friday, 15th of July. I am your host, Tamor Hussein, and joining me is the one and only, my partner in crime, Lucy James.
Hello, we made it. We made it out of the
We
void.
did it. The British came, they ruined everything for a little bit, and the American fixed it.
Thanks, Kevin.
Says a lot. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
It was really scary, guys. I'm still very worried.
Sometimes shit just breaks and Kevin fixes it. That's how it goes, you know. First try every time. Lucy, you've never done one of these with me.
That's true.
This is wild. This is the first time we're doing Kind of Funny Games Daily together.
A Tam and Jams Friday.
Tam Jam special.
A Tam Jam special on a Friday.
There it is.
I've done it with Greg and with Kevin. Kevin and Barrett and Tim, as in the folks that I've been on and around.
Yeah. So I do things a little bit differently, okay?
Okay.
The first thing I do differently is I like to let people know what was happening in history, in pop culture on this day.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's especially useful today because there's not a lot of stories. So we're really padding this out, okay? Today in pop culture, coming from popculturemadness.com, July 15th, National Gummy Worm Day.
Wow, everything does have to have a day, huh?
Yeah, everything does have a day. Trolley, a German confectionery company that is famously known for their gummy worms, created them in 1981. Most sources claim that the worms slithered into the scene on July 15th, which we now mark as Gummy Worm Day. Trolley had been looking to create candy with only 2 colors and flavors, which meet at one point. When they discovered this design during an effort to have something disgusting enough to put parents off of it. The 5-centimeter long treats were made up of 2 different flavors, strawberry and grapefruit.
Wait, hang on. They were trying to make something.
They were trying to make something gross that people were, gross looking, that parents would be like, no, we don't want to feed this to our kids. And in the process, made the gummy worm, which you love to see. It doesn't make any sense, but that's how, you know.
0 sense, but you know.
Yeah, Germans, you know. July 15th is also the Bon Festival, which is Japan's Feast of Lanterns. I Love Horses Day.
You know what? I'm actually pretty scared of horses. I think they're too powerful.
They are too powerful. They can kick you and it hurts.
You're so right.
Yep, they are majestic but powerful.
Oh yeah, I'll enjoy them from a distance.
Yeah.
But no, like my sister had a horse. And, she had to give it away because he had issues. But.
Oh. Was
he
was unwell?
No. He had like behavioral issues and obviously.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like he had issues with your sister, like they had fallen out.
No. He was just kind of like, he was a big horse, but like he could be a little bit unpredictable.
Yeah.
And so got nieces and stuff, and that's not great. So they found a nice home for him where he could just be his wildest self. But also that meant that like, whenever I'd stay at my sister's, I would open my window and genuinely the horse would just be staring at me.
I don't like the way they look.
And I don't like that at all because, he could kick in the wall of where I was staying easily.
Yeah.
I once got in trouble at a national park for jumping off a bridge, actually with Tim and Cool Greg, and the
horse dobbed you in?
Horse
was like, officer, with them!
It was a horse cop. It was a park ranger. A park ranger came over and had like a very serious conversation with us, being like, every year we have to pull out dead kids from this area because they hit rocks on their way down sometimes and they die. And it's just like, he's having a very serious conversation, but I have a horse staring right at my face. And just horses have a dumb look to them. It makes you want to laugh, you know?
Yeah.
It's the cylindrical face. It's like, your face is too narrow. I don't like it.
Why the long face?
Yeah, why the long face? Exactly.
Just to be clear, I said horse cop.
Yeah, cop.
Oh.
P. Yeah.
COP.
Yeah.
In the UK, in Newcastle, where I'm from, there was an infamous incident where punched a horse.
Yeah. It was a horse with a cop on it. Yeah.
Yes. We've seen it.
He it's so good and also horrible. Don't punch horses.
I absolutely do not condone animal violence or violence at all, but it does look like a Renaissance painting.
Yeah.
The way it's actually taking a swing. He got arrested.
Yeah. July 15th is also another national holiday, which Lucy is already celebrating, which way ahead of us. Well done to you on that. July 15th is National Be a Dork Day. You'll love to see it.
Be a whale penis day.
Wow. It's also National Give Something Away Day. National Pet Fire
Give away
Safety
these
Day.
stands for free, Tam.
Wow. National Pet Fire Safety Day. National Respect Canada Day. Okay?
Put some respect on Canada.
It's also National Tapioca Pudding Day. It's Orange Chicken Day. And what happened?
No, Saint Swithin's Day?
It's Saint Swithin's Day, yeah.
What is that? There's an infamous Simpsons line where it's like, is it Saint Swithin's Day already?
Yeah, exactly. It's also July 15th was the day where sadly there was a murder happen that changed the world. It was the murder of John and Mary Grayson, parents of Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing. Yeah. It's a day that lives in infamy that we'll never forget. Rest in peace, John and Mary Grayson. Yeah. Birthdays. Jesse the Body Ventura, American wrestler, actor, and politician, and 38th governor of Minnesota. It's his birthday today. Yeah.
I don't know who this person is.
You don't know Jesse the Body Ventura?
No, wrestling. I have such a it's like someone anything I've ever maybe learned about wrestling in my life, A, has been against my will, but B, it's just something that my brain has kind of gone, no. Lucy,
we watched a movie with Jesse Ventura in it together. Do you not remember it? It was called Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe. And it was absolutely awful. We watched it over Zoom. It was a Chris Pereira pick. He's also he's in Predator. And he is also at one point was very into conspiracy theories. He's Alex Jones adjacent for a little while.
But is he a wrong'un?
I don't know if he's a wrong'un. He might be. I think that at some point most wrestlers are probably wrong'uns. Yeah. Forrest Whitaker's birthday today.
Him?
Oh, got it! He gave us that moment, of course.
The best moment.
The best Star Wars moment of all time.
Most quotable Star Wars moment.
Yeah.
But what is she proposing?
That is the other most quotable moment, yeah. Bridget Nielsen.
Oh, okay.
It's her birthday today. Diane Kruger's birthday. And for all the fluffy people out there, Gabriel Iglesias. It's his birthday today.
Who's that? Is he?
He's a stand-up comedian, American stand-up comedian, yeah. In 1799, on this day, the Rosetta Stone was found in the Egyptian village of Rosetta by French Captain Pierre-François Bouchard during Napoleon's Egyptian campaign, which is pretty cool.
That even back then, they were like, one of these days, there's going to be an expensive piece of language learning software named after this.
Yeah, Rosetta Stone was too expensive, man. Really you had to get that on BitTorrent if you wanted to learn a language.
But it was easy to get on BitTorrent.
It was very easy. Not that I've ever done it. I've never done anything illegal in my life. Neither has Kevin or Lucy.
Don't believe in
Actually, I'm not sure about Lucy. 18. Yeah, she's done a lot of. 1834, the Spanish Inquisition was officially disbanded after nearly 356 years.
Nobody expected that.
No one expected the Spanish Inquisition to be disbanded on July 15th. Several thousand people were actually. I'm not going to read the rest of this. It's kind of sad.
I feel bad about making the joke now.
Yeah. And 1979, U.S. President Jimmy Carter gave his Malaise speech, where he characterized the greatest threat to the country as this crisis in the growing doubt about the meaning of our own lives and in the loss of a unity of purpose for our nation. Which, you know what? Still relevant. All this time later.
Like, we're British. We don't understand what this is.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what any of that means. So whatever. Today's stories include June 2022's NPD details, which, let me tell you, makes up the bulk of today's episode. Unity CEO John Riccatello saying some spicy stuff, and God of War Ragnarok pre-orders popping off like wildfire. And more, because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily, where each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We show you tell you about the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. As always, with an episode that I'm on, there will be 0 entries to you're wrong because I am never wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, or listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kind of Funny Games Daily. You remember to use the Epic creator code Kind of Funny on all Epic Store and Epic in-game purchases. So if you're playing Rocket League and Fortnite, make sure you are using Kind of Funny on your purchases, and that helps support Kind of Funny, and you want to help support Kind of Funny, of course. To be part of the show, head to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where bronze members are above get to write in, and silver members are above get the show ad-free, along with the exclusive daily post show, which we'll be doing later. Housekeeping, I mean, goddamn one time, why can't it be a bad game of sweeping? There is a new Kind of Funny podcast. It's called The Airing of Gregvances, which is a very good title. You can check that out. It's so good. It's so good. You can check that out now on youtube.com/kindoffunny and podcast services. It's a little too late to attend, I think, now, but a reminder that today, Greg, Joey, SnowBikeMike, and the Xbox team are going to be in LA. They're taking over the Fonda Theater in Hollywood for an As Dusk Falls launch event. If you manage to RSVP to that, don't forget to go and have fun. Let us know how it goes. Make sure you tweet loads of pictures and say, holy shit, this is awesome. This is cool. I hope Kind of Funny does more of this at Xbox. Give them more money, etc., that kind of stuff. You know, hype us up. Juice us. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Fargo Brady, Gordon McGuire, and Al Tribesman. Today we're brought to you by ExpressVPN, MeUndies, and Athletic Greens, as well as Shopify, but we'll tell you more about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and will forever be the Roper Report. It's time for the news. We've got 4 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
It's actually 4.5, but
wait, something also did drop. I've been checking in on the chat. First of all, we missed that it was the 10-year anniversary of Gangnam Style today, which makes me feel
No way. That can't be right. We're not that old, are we?
That
was like 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
That is, yeah. It's also the 30th anniversary of the first release of Street Fighter 2 on home consoles, which is a more relevant one than Gangnam Style. But, you know. Yeah,
but then also, Tam, another news story did just drop, so I just dropped it in, but I don't know how much. We'll talk about it.
Oh, we are proud to officially join. Bungie has tweeted, we are proud to officially join the incredible team at PlayStation. We're excited for the future of our company, and we are inspired to bring together players from all over the world to form lasting friendships and memories, per Odessia ad Astra. So we knew this stuff was going to happen. But I guess it's now official. The paperwork has been signed, and we are off to the races. So Bungie has published a joint kind of like blog post, I guess, where they make it official. We believe games have limitless potential, and that they'll do they do anything worthwhile anything worthwhile in entertainment, we must bet big on our vision, our studio, and our incredible team of trusted creators who build unforgettable worlds that truly matter to people. In Sony Interactive Entertainment, we have found a partner who unconditionally supports us in all we are and who we want to accelerate our vision. To create generation-spanning entertainment, all while preserving the creative independence that beats in Bungie's heart. Like us, SIE believes that game worlds are only the beginning of what our IPs can become. That's an interesting bit of text there. SIE believes that game worlds are only the beginning of what our IPs can become. Together, we share a dream of...
be a metaverse.
Oh, here it comes. Together, we share a dream of creating and fostering iconic franchises that unite friends around the world, families across generations, and fans across multiple platforms and entertainment mediums. Today, Bungie begins our journey to become a global multimedia entertainment company. That's wild. And then there's a couple of bits, sections that break down some more stuff, but the one I want to read out is creative freedom. Since taking flight in 1991, Bungie has always charted the future with our own star map. They're really leaning into this space stuff. A path that is driven by our community and for our community. We'll continue that journey with new worlds in development, and we can't wait to share them with you. With SIE, the potential for our universes is unlimited. Our future games will take bold steps into unexplored spaces for Bungie, continue to push the boundaries of what is possible, and will always be built on the foundation of creating meaningful, lifelong friendships and memories. We remain in charge of our destiny, which is a double.
The nice pun.
Well done. We will continue to independently publish and creatively develop our games. We will continue to drive one unified Bungie community. Our games will continue to be where the community is, wherever they choose to play it. With SIE support, the most immediate change you will see is an acceleration in hiring talent across the entire studio to support our ambitious vision. If this speaks to you and you want to help us put a dent in the universe, we're hiring across all disciplines for Destiny 2 and for all new worlds beyond. So interesting. So as we said, already knew that this was happening, Lucy. But some language in here that kind of speaks to the future of Bungie and what Sony saw in them. First of all, being Sony believes that a game only the beginning of IPs, of what our IPs can become. Naturally, that's got to mean like TV shows, movies, comics, and that kind of stuff, right?
Did they announce there was going to be some kind of Destiny TV anime thing? Everything's getting anime at the minute. I'm going to Google this.
I think they have talked about potential tie-in stuff, but I don't know if they have officially announced anything, as far as I know. And it just makes sense for that stuff to be fleshed out. There's like so much potential in that story that is. It's only consumable if you are knee deep in the Destiny universe, have been for a really long time, and understand the mechanisms you need to engage with to unpack that story. Because obviously, when Destiny 1 came out, the kind of a lot of the story was in the Grimoire cards and that kind of stuff.
Oh, them Grimoire cards.
Yeah,
yes,
remember those?
This is what I was thinking of. 3 months ago, Destiny TV show hype builds after Bungie jobs listing sparks rumors. This is from Dexerto. I never know how to pronounce that. But they're senior producer Destiny Linear Media with the hopes of an animated TV series adaptation of the title. So it was a job listing.
Yeah. I mean, Destiny 2 changed it in a big way where they were like, they told the story more in-game, and the events have been spectacular as far as I can tell from everyone who plays it. People love the story and they're fully engaged with it. But I think there is an opportunity to kind of take some of that and adapt it in different ways for people beyond it and create that pipeline back into Destiny, if you know what I mean.
Let's see, I was talking about this with Skill Up on FPS, which is coming out today. But he was saying that, like, I asked, is this the point where I could easily get into Destiny 2? And he was like, honestly, no. It's not a great place to jump in if you are fresh, because not only is the way that Destiny works is like they vault content, but there's just so much at this point that it's kind of tricky to just jump in and to ensure that you'll get the narrative payoffs and stuff. So for looking at transmedia, which is obviously something that I'm sure we'll talk about, the way that 343 has handled it. Obviously, they have quite the shared history, those two studios. You know, making sure that there are these other elements, these other ways to bring people on board. So, you know, whether that is a TV show, whether that is some other kind of media tie-in that we haven't necessarily even thought about, all it does is it also works as a way to funnel people into the game itself. Look at how Arcane became such a huge talking point when it came out on Netflix for League of Legends, right? And so I wouldn't necessarily say that the Halo TV show had the same impact. Did get to see his ass, I guess, but you know, it's really interesting. Yeah, senior producer to produce projects that extend the franchise into TV, films, books, comics, and audio formats. And I will say, if they do like an audio play, I'm all about the audio play life at the minute, because the Sandman stuff has been amazing. There was that Wolverine one. I think
there's a Batman one on Spotify that's really good.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that like the #1 podcast or something at the minute?
Yeah. It's really good. Podcasts are a big thing in terms of like adapting IPs into. So yeah, I'm excited about this opportunity. The thing that I'm most excited about now is the acceleration stuff, broadly speaking. The stuff that I'm most interested in is what comes next after Destiny. I feel like I've missed the boat on Destiny in a way now. Like obviously you played a bunch when it first came out, but as you said, it's hard to get back into it right now, especially if your main interest is the story.
Remember when
So
we had a whole show about playing Destiny 2?
oh yeah, Destiny's Children. That was us. We had a series for a while.
Oh, let's try and get raid ready.
We burned out real fast, and we played it at a time when the story wasn't great.
Like no, we played it at launch, didn't we?
Yeah, it was the vanilla version, so none of the cool story stuff had really come out then, and like that's the problem. I now I kind of regret jumping off, but I mean, it made sense at the time. But I think the lesson I've learned is like, when it comes to Bungie, like stick with it. Because they've proved time and time again where it's like, even if we start rough, we'll get there. And then when we get there, it's going to be worth being there for. But if you jump off before the train reaches its destination, you're going to be real sad that it's gone.
Destiny Nation.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited most about the new worlds in development that they have. But I also kind of am always like trepidatious about rapid growth of like studios and this kind of like multi-media kind of approach also kind of scares me, because it's like, what happens if it doesn't work off the bat? Are they just suddenly going to like abandon it? Are they committed to it? Who knows? I feel like Sony is very slowly showing that they are definitely committed to this kind of stuff long term. But yeah, I hope it works out for them.
It's a new initiative for Sony, right? Because we can look back and see when they kind of tried to dabble in this sort of stuff. Do you remember Powers?
Ooh. Sadly, I do remember Powers
happen. But if you think now, we've got Last of Us TV show at HBO of all places. Isn't God of War getting adapted?
Mm-hmm.
They've I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Sony
Twisted
has...
Metal, of course. Everyone's excited for Twisted Metal. Aren't you excited for Twisted Metal?
Clearly at the forefront of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Twisted Metal, but no, it's like I think it feels like they have. Arthur, it feels like they have a plan. Sorry, I was actually playing some Red Dead 2 the other day. It feels like they have more of a plan around it. And I think with Sony's resources and Destiny 2, especially like from speaking with Destiny fans, like the story is kind of like the best it's ever been. It could be something really great. And so I'm excited. And I hope as well, crucially, that they are remaining in charge of their own destiny. They are getting to remain like that kind of fierce, independent nature, because I think that's what's led Bungie to be able to take risks. And like frequently in terms of studios who are outspoken and who will speak up for what is right, Bungie is constantly leading the charge.
Yeah.
Especially speaking up about things like abortion rights and just
supporting the employees as well in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So I really hope they get to retain that that fierce. I guess.
Yeah, the company culture is as important to Bungie when it comes to the games that they make, because the energy that they have around their employees and the company as a whole, it kind of like leads to the games that they make, and the games they make are very good. So you don't want to upset that delicate chemistry and end up having kind of shooting the golden goose, one of a different phrase, but like they are the golden goose for Sony right now in a lot of ways, because Sony has mentioned that their strategy going forward is to create more like live service experiences, which is something that they don't currently have a lot of expertise on. And this acquisition is a big step towards bringing in that expertise and having a kind of game that from the get-go is already like functioning as the kind of bar that they want to hit. So I imagine Sony's just like, we're just going to let you do what you need to do, and hopefully it works out really well, and hopefully that you can figure out ways to improve the stuff. So it's exciting times for sure at Bungie. The next story comes from Matt Piscatella, and it is a June 2022 NPD roundup. I'm going to let you in on a secret, everyone. This morning, I did a show called Game Mess Mornings with Jeff Grubb.
Never heard of it.
You might have heard, you might be familiar with it. It is a shameless ripoff of Kind of Funny Games Daily. Shameless.
Don't tell him.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
It really hurts.
No. Anything.
Hey, Barrett's going to be on it on Monday, so that's tacit approval. So I went into Jeff Grubb's document. I was like, Jeff, you've done all the hard work in formatting this NPD stuff.
My God.
I am copying and pasting this shit, and I'm putting it into this document for Kind of Funny Games Daily.
It evens out. It evens out.
It evens out, baby. So I'm like bridging the gap between the two. But obviously, all of Jeff Grubb's work has been sourced from Matt Piscatella, who reports the kind of details on NPD. We're going to go through the highlights. Those are June 22, 2022 consumer spending across video game hardware, content and accessories fell 11% when compared to a year ago. That fall has taken it down to 4.3 billion. There's been a growth in subscription spending, which could not offset declines in other areas of spending, though. The first half spending totaled around $26.3 billion, which is a 10% shortfall when compared to the same period in 2021. Subscription content, again, is the only major spending category that exhibited growth. In terms of hardware, video game hardware dollar sales fell by 8% when compared to a year ago. That's down to 371 million. First half new console hardware spending fell 9% to 2.1 billion. Any surprises in there? I guess the context around this that we need to keep thinking about is we had a soaring high for a really long time as an industry, right? Because COVID happened and that changed the way people spend their money and the kind of the things that they use to entertain themselves, right? We went from being outside constantly, going to concerts and movies and, restaurants, etc., to being stuck inside. So it makes sense that we spent more money, and now we're at a stage where we're going to concerts a little more gingerly and going to movies a little more gingerly and hanging out at restaurants again. So does this make sense to you then, or do you feel like it's indicative of perhaps something else that might be more worrisome?
Recession in there, pal. As well. Well, I don't think we're not officially in the recession yet.
No, people really want it to happen, though.
I think we are. I think we might be in the recession.
Oh, are we there now?
I think as of last month, but I could be wrong. I could be the United States.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I feel cost of living is going up in general. So yeah, I mean, I think your points are completely valid. Like, people feel more comfortable. Like the pandemic is by no means over at all. COVID rates are actually spiking. Get vaccinated, etc.
I had it. Okay.
You had it.
I had it.
I touch wood.
Recently.
I still remain uncovided. I do not understand.
It won't last. I
I
just
know.
got it 2 weeks ago. It was totally fine. I had almost no symptoms. I had a stuffy nose, but it ruined a bunch of my plans. It was a bummer.
Yeah, I hate to see it.
This is like Whamageddon, like the game you play where you have to go through all of December without hearing Wham. I'm playing my own Whamageddon.
What are you talking about? Who's playing that game?
British
That's
people.
a wild game. What are you
never heard of Whamageddon?
No, what are you talking about?
Have you never heard of Whamageddon? Chat, please.
You're talking to a chat of Americans. As a British person, have never heard of Whamageddon.
It's British.
I mean, I'm into it. I love the sound of this game.
Michael O'Leary. It's a thing.
Okay,
it's
cool.
a thing.
I mean, I'm down to play this year because it sounds amazing. I think I will win because I don't think I very regularly hear Wham. So.
Ping Pong Padawan just said Lucy's making stuff up again. Oh, okay, I got just Tom. I'm British and I've heard of it. So there we go. No. So, so where were we? Oh yeah, spending. People, I don't know, cost of living, there have been layoffs, recession. So I think this is to be expected. Subscription content increasing. Honestly, I could also see that happen. It's been a major push for Sony recently with the revamp on PlayStation Plus. Obviously, Xbox making changes all the time to how Game Pass works. I'm trying to think in terms of other subscriptions. I don't think Nintendo pushes Nintendo Online.
Nintendo frequently forgets that they have Nintendo Online.
But yeah, I mean, it's a shame. But also, you got to consider. I did bring up the old Game Informer like releases calendar because it's very comprehensive. And I think not to say that we haven't had as many games this year. There are tons of games, but we necessarily haven't had the big AAAs. And so, last year we also had around, was it March time? We had things like Resident Evil 8, whereas this year it feels like the big hitters have been Horizon and obviously Elden Ring. Whereas in last year we had more of the kind of the bigger hitters, like Kingdom Hearts on PC.
I mean, you say Horizon was a big hitter, but we'll come to the software stuff in a bit. But,
did it not sell? I would have assumed it would have sold a fair few million, but not as.
We'll get there.
Oh no!
We'll get there. US NPD hardware numbers. PlayStation 5 generated the highest dollar sales amongst video game hardware platforms in both June and the first half of the calendar 2022, while Switch led both time periods in unit sales. June PlayStation 5 dollar sales experienced double-digit percentage growth when compared to a year ago.
Is it because people can finally sort of buy them?
That's
now?
the interesting thing. Yeah,
buy them.
They can't buy them, but they can buy them, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I managed to get one somehow, but I do have freakish luck with this stuff. You know how I am.
Ridiculous luck.
Yeah, if you're trying to like get in line and buy stuff, I've got like weird luck where I managed to get like, what was it? Hamilton tickets very easily at the time before we knew J.K. Rowling was a top 10 wrong'un. When people were trying to get Cursed Child tickets, I like for fun went to the website and it was like, you are number one. And I was like, cool, I don't want this. And I closed it.
And it was mediocre.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so I managed to get one, but they're still very difficult to find for the average person. But the kind of numbers improving and having the double-digit percentage growth is in comparison to a time when there was like basically impossible. So it's gone from basically impossible to a little more possible, but still largely impossible, if you know what I mean. So that accounts for that. And then accessory spending on video game accessories fell 15% when compared to a year ago to 176 million. First half video game accessory spending declined 14% versus a year ago to 1.1 billion. The PS5 DualSense wireless controller Midnight Black was June's best-selling accessory, and the Xbox Elite Series 2 wireless controller, which is a great controller, led all accessories in first half dollar sales. So
my local Target for some reason is like always has the controllers in. Like I remember you and I were talking, and the headsets as well. We were talking, and you were like trying to get the Xbox headset, and I was like, yeah, let me hook you up, because for some reason this particular Target has always got it going on.
Yeah, I know I have one.
Yeah, look at that.
You'd love to see it.
The Series 2, best controller.
Yeah, great controller. Let's dip into software and run through some of that. We're going to use a story written by Eddie Makuch on the #1 video game website on the internet. Do you know what that video game website is, Lucy?
I want to say GameSpot.com.
You are 100% correct. What you may not know, Lucy, is the number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 spots are also held by GameSpot.com. People hate it, but it is what it is, you know.
Don't hate us because you ain't us.
Exactly. NPD Group has released its monthly sales report revealing which games and consoles saw the best during 2022, and once again, Elden Ring was a standout. Elden Ring was June 2022's best-selling game, and it continues to be the highest-selling title of 2022 so far. Additionally, after just 5 months on the market, Elden Ring is already inside the top 10 best-selling premium games in US history for dollar sales, according to NPD. Again, this is not units sold, dollars driven. The research company did not say the full top 10 list, so it doesn't. So it's unclear where it ranks. Elden Ring is selling an absurd amount of copy. It's making crazy money. Like Miyazaki is rolling in it right now. He's like, holy shit, I'll never make a game ever again.
don't.
That's
Why
not
would you
true.
put
That's
that
not
out
true.
there? Why
That's
would you
not
put
true.
that out there?
That's not true. He has already said that they're almost done with the next game. So
Are you
that's
kidding?
good.
So what he said.
Yeah. They're like in the final stages of their next title.
Is that
So
nice?
very, very excited. Very, very excited. Elden Ring has been the best-selling game in terms of dollar sales in the US every month since launch in February, except for April, which is when Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga reigns supreme. Elden Ring is projected to be 2022's best-selling game in the US, outpacing even Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for 2022. That will be a big result, but it's not a perfect or entirely fair comparison, as Elden Ring launched in February and Modern Warfare 2 arrives at the end of October. Let's look at other stuff. Let's look at some other stats. So the June 2022 top selling video games in the US. Number 1 was Elden Ring. Can you guess what was number 2?
Oh, so you mean you don't want me to look at the document that you've put up?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay,
basically.
well, I did see number 2, which was Lego Star Wars, but I didn't see the rest.
Yeah, so the rest. So you mentioned Horizon, correct?
Yeah.
Horizon is not in the top 20. Which is wild.
That's just for June, right?
June, yeah.
Oof, that's quite the drop off.
But like, it's a big drop off for a first party title, especially one as big as Horizon, a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. Like, and it's you'd think it'd have a pretty good attach rate to
but then maybe
PlayStation 5 consoles as well.
Yeah, but maybe, and just because I'm trying to think of like a reason for it. It's because everyone who does have a PS5 who
has the game,
bought it at launch.
Yeah.
But also it is a PS4 game as well. So maybe is this just counting PS5 or is it counting PS4?
It's just top selling video games. So I think it's all of them, I guess, except for Xbox and Switch digital sales are not included, and other digital sales as well. But like it's hard to say as well, but also like it could have done really well, and it will probably end up being at the end of the year like reasonably in the top 10 for best. So going from 1 to 20, the best selling games of June are Elden Ring, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, Mario Strikers Battle League, MLB The Show, Overwatch. Overwatch is back. Yeah.
Wait, why?
Overwatch is 5 again. Probably off the back of like the release date, the actual people talking about the game, and also because like
because you get that thing, and then there was like a bundle you could buy to get beta access for 2.
Yeah, but also you get
Overwatch must be included in that.
Yeah. So, but also like I think a lot of people have consoles and they're like, what can I buy for this stuff? And Overwatch is a very easy one to like Google and you can Google like best console named game and it'll be like Overwatch is great. So people are like, okay, cool.
It is great. I'm really enjoying Overwatch too.
Yeah, at number 7, Nintendo Switch Sports, 8, Kirby Forgotten Land, 9, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and then Minecraft. Call of Duty Vanguard F1 2022, Monster Hunter Rise, Dragon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate still in there at 15, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, Sonic Origins, Pokemon Legends Arceus, The Quarry, and Spider-Man Miles Morales. The best-selling games year to date. Horizon is at number 4. That is
maybe it just means that it has like high, day 1.
Yeah. So it's got Elden Ring, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, Pokemon Arceus, and then Horizon, and then a bunch of others. Elden Ring is pretty much at the top of all of these lists. For Nintendo games, currently June's best-selling Nintendo game was Battle League, Mario Strikers. But after that, Mario Kart 8 still hanging in there. The best-selling PlayStation game was Elden Ring and then MLB The Show. Top Xbox game was Elden Ring and then Skywalker Saga. So popping off for Elden Ring, which you truly love to see.
Good for Miyazaki.
I think the thing that we can take away from that is you bet your sweet ass there's going to be an Elden Ring 2. Like if there's not an Elden Ring 2, I'd be very surprised. And if there's not an Elden Ring 2, that just means that From Software has got enough clout now to say, we're not doing that, we're doing this instead. Which is
Bloodborne 2.
Yeah, it's don't say things that we can't get. Don't make promises that someone else can't keep. and it pretty much guarantees that there's going to be Elden Ring DLC. I mean, we expected it anyway. Like pretty much every what do you call it? From Software game has had a DLC, and it's always banging for the most part. So it will probably get some Elden Ring DLC some point. In all likelihood, chances are strong that we see that pop up at Game Awards this year with Jeff's beautiful little face just smiling happily at giant Elden Ring gameplay on screen that we can't see, just bathing in the light of it.
I really hope if Miyazaki can't attend, that Pot Friend gets to accept
our award. Yeah,
it's my Pot Friend.
Yes, I think that Pot Friend was big enough to actually be Iron Fist Alexander. So
I think that Pot Friend could fit Miyazaki in it.
So
I'm just saying, Jeff, if you're watching or listening,
I'd love it. Here's Jeff Kinney, if you're watching this,
in the Pot Friend, and then have him pop out.
Have him say, "Hello, can anybody hear me?
Can anybody hear me?
I seem to have become stuck. Give me a good wallop on my backside," and Jeff can hit him with a Game award. And then we're in business. Easy.
Yeah, look.
You'll love to see it. Before we head into the next news story, we're going to take a little break for our ad. Remember, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames where you can get the show ad-free. If you've done that, good for you. Well done. If you haven't done that, here's some ads.
This episode is brought to you by MeUndies. Are people still trying to make plans with you this summer? As if you aren't booked and busy already. But thankfully, MeUndies wants to help make this summer the most comfortable one you will never forget. Because when you're living your best life, the last thing you want to worry about is butt sweat. And I know that from experience. But you know what? MeUndies has always been there to help me. I'm always wearing my MeUndies shirts, my lounge pants, my lounge shorts, my undies themselves, the socks. I'm a MeUndies fanboy. Wouldn't have it any other way. I just absolutely love the soft micro-modal fabric. Find your ultimate summer comfort in sizes extra small all the way up to 4XL. MeUndies has a great offer for all of you out there. For any first-time purchasers, you can get 15% off. For a limited time, if you sign up for the free to join MeUndies membership, you get 25% off your first membership item. To get 50% off your order, 25% off your first membership item, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/kindafunny. That's MeUndies.com/kindafunny. Shout out to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this episode. When you use the bathroom, you always close the door behind you, right? Well, you don't want random passerbyers looking in on you, so why would you let people look in on you when you go online? Your internet service provider knows every single website you visit. ExpressVPN puts a stop to this. It creates a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so that your online activity can't be seen by anyone. I use ExpressVPN on all my devices, whether it's my phone, my desktop, everything. Anytime I'm using the internet, just because I am trying to stay as safe as possible. The best part is using ExpressVPN is as easy as closing the bathroom door. You just fire up the app, you click one button, and you're protected. It is so easy. It's the biggest button in the world. One click, you're done. So if you're like me and believe your online activity is your business, secure yourself today by visiting expressvpn.com/kindafunny. You can use our link, expressvpn.com/kindafunny, and you can get an extra 3 months free. That's expressvpn.com/kindafunny. Shout out to Athletic Greens for sponsoring this episode. I started taking AG1 because I'm not a big pill guy. I don't want to spend a lot of time on extra things, but I wanted to make sure that I was taking care of my health. Now, I've been using it the last couple months and I love it. It doesn't taste like it's super healthy. It has a fun tropical taste that I actually look forward to in the morning. With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focused, and aging. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/kindafunny. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/kindafunny to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. athleticgreens.com/kindafunny.
Next story. I thought it was going to stay black for a few seconds there. I was like, oh my god, not again.
Not like
Yeah, we're past it.
We're good. Kevin's on it. Our next story comes from the number 2 video game website on the internet. That is, of course, GameSpot.com, written by Demi Williams. Unity CEO says, "You are an effing idiot if you don't think about monetization during the creative process." Then apologizes. The current Unity CEO and former EA boss John Riccitiello has said that if studios don't consider monetization in their games during the creative process, they're a effing idiot, but has since apologized for his comment. During a recent interview with PocketGamer.biz, the CEO discussed the announcement that Unity and ironSource would be merging, while also touching on criticisms both companies have received regarding the inclusion of monetization during earlier development. Ferrari and some of the other high-end manufacturers still use clay and carving knives, Riccitiello said. It's a very small portion of the gaming industry that works that way, and some of these people are my favorite people in the world to fight with. They're the most beautiful and brilliant people. They're also some of the biggest effing idiots. So actually what he's saying is these people who aren't doing it are effing idiots, but he's also being like, they're my homies, but it's not working at all.
God almighty, their poor PR who must have just been sat there going,
"Why, John? Why have you done this?" He went on to elaborate on his former comment, saying, a comment explaining that the games industry has changed over the years. It used to be the case that developers would throw their game over the wall to the publicist and sales force with literally no interaction beforehand. That model is baked into the philosophy of a lot of art forms and medium. And it's one I'm deeply respectful of. I know their dedication and care. But this industry divides people between those who still hold to that philosophy and those who massively embrace how to figure out what makes a successful product. And I don't know a successful artist anywhere that doesn't care about what their player thinks. This is where the cycle of feedback comes back. And they can choose to ignore it, but to choose to not know it at all is not a great call. Following Rick, what the fuck does any of that mean? What are you talking about?
Well, the thing is, I think the audience he is speaking to is not the audience who has picked up on this story.
No, not at all. Following his comments, he received backlash from members of development community, with some strongly disagreeing with the CEO's sentiment. "I made Apple's iPhone Game of the Year in 2018, says Ben Esposito of Donut County. And I did it using Unity, but according to their CEO, I'm a big effing idiot for not making Whole.io, the free-to-play game that ripped it off." Oh, that is brutal. Yeah. Brogan Hackett, I think I pronounced that right. Apologies if I didn't. A developer who worked on If Found responded on Twitter saying, "John Riccitiello thinks I'm an idiot. I think he's a greedy little capitalist pig who only cares about money. I'm so tired of people like him ruining things I love." Today, Riccitiello tweeted out his apologies and said his words were taken out of full context, adding that he was deeply sorry if what I said offended any game dev, which is massive sorry, not sorry energy. This isn't the first time Riccitiello has... isn't the first time Riccitiello has commented on monetization in games. In 2011, he defended the use of microtransactions, saying it's a great model and it represents substantially better future for the industry. Yeah, I mean, the problem we have is Riccitiello is saying a bunch of shit. People read between the lines and rightly criticized him. And he was like, no. But the issue that he has is there's a breadcrumb trail of him like nickel and diming developers at his time at EA, and also now. Like, he's always been about that microtransaction life. So him saying like, I didn't mean it like that.
Online past life.
He's about the online past life. He at EA, when EA was doing the most microtransactions, those shit that you remember being them grossest for, that was a Riccitiello joint. He also did stuff like, get a few games that people wanted greenlit, like Mirror's Edge Catalyst, for example. But largely, his legacy is trying to get more money out of people. So the fact that people are upset at him specifically saying this, it's not specifically what you said, it's the fact that he said it, and then trying to be like, no, I didn't mean it like that, is really disingenuous when your career has involved doing that exact thing. But how do you feel about this, Lucy?
Oh man, it sucks. It's like, I think the responses from the devs kind of say it all. because it's one thing having a creative vision, and then you kind of got like the sales part of it being like, actually, you gotta work out ways to get money out of people beyond, just buying your game, which really sucks. But also, like, I don't know if you want to read like the last bit of the story, which kind of also explains. I mean, people are very angry about the Iron Source acquisition too, because
yeah, so Unity has faced criticism recently after they laid off 200 workers shortly before acquiring Iron Source in a $4.4 billion all-stock deal. Preorders reportedly assured employees 2 weeks before the news that there would be no layoffs during an all-hands meeting, but went on to lay off 4% of its workforce. So, yeah, you're being a dickhead, my dude.
Yeah.
Like, stop being a dickhead, and people will stop acting like you're a dickhead. The very easy way to not be treated like a dickhead is to stop being a dickhead.
Yeah. And then
it's simple maths.
Calling devs and effing idiots is like, what are you doing? I
what are you doing?
Understand what he's doing.
Like, if I'm working at uni, I would be like, why is this man speaking? Like, what is he doing? Why is he saying this stuff? Like, it's insane. Like, I think like the criticism and the backlash he's getting is warranted. He clearly thinks that he's in a position where he can just say these things without getting any sort of blowback. And I think it's pretty great that when a CEO like him says something stupid, that we can call him on it and be like, And I think it's great that especially developers with the knowledge and understanding and experience to do that are talking about it. So good on these indie devs. And if you are an indie dev and you are thinking, is he right? Maybe, but trust me, man. A lot of people really love the way that you currently make games without the free-to-play stuff, so please continue doing that. Our next and final story comes from Stephen Petite and John Bitner over at GameSpot.com, the #3 video game website in the world. It's a great website. God of War Ragnarok pre-orders are now live, and it includes the Jotnar edition.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of pre-orders, but we're running short on time. I'm just going to skip to the Jotnar edition. The Jotnar edition comes with a bunch of things that is included in all the other versions. It's got some additional bonuses as well. The stuff it's got is a 7-inch vinyl with 2 tracks by Bear McCreary, who you may know from Battlestar Galactica. It's got the Falcon, the Bear, and the Wolf pin set. It's got the legendary Draupnir ring in a red cloth bag. It's got Brock's die set instead of the Dwarven die set from the collector's edition. It's got the Yggdrasil cloth map. You also get a 16-inch Mjolnir replica, a 2-inch Vanir Twins carving, a steelbook case, a digital code for the game for PS4 and PS5, and you also get the following digital items: Kratos' Dark Dale armor, Atreus' Dark Dale attire, Dark Dale blades handles for the Blades of Chaos, Dark Dale axe grip for the Leviathan axe, a God of War Ragnarok digital soundtrack, a Dark Horse digital mini art book, an avatar set, and a PS4 theme. The reason why we're talking about this is because this thing clocks in at around $260 or £230, and it is basically impossible to get now. It is sold out everywhere. And that leads nicely into our next story, which comes from Hiram Cryer at Games Radar. God of War's Jotnar edition is already being resold for at least double its price. God of War Ragnarok's Jotnar edition is already being resold for hundreds more than its original price by scalpers. For example, if you head to ebay.co.uk, right now you'll see that there are numerous listings for Ragnarok's Jotnar edition selling for well over £500. The listings do not descend in price from there, however, or do actually descend in price, however, generally dropping down to above 200. Still, it's a dire state for customers. I had a quick look to see what the US prices are, and I'm seeing upwards of $600, $700 for this thing. So if you have an interest in this Jotnar edition, you're going to have to be fast if it ever comes back in stock, man. I think that Sony will no doubt look at it and be like, okay, we got to put more of this stuff out, and start. But
like, this is, remember the Fallout 4 Pit Boys? That's the last time I ever experienced anything like that.
It's a lot. I beg of you, if you're out there and you definitely want this thing, don't pay scalpers, man. Yeah,
Hey,
it's messed up. It's messed up. Just don't do it. Just wait it out, and you'll be able to get it eventually.
Yeah.
Whether I'll get it, who knows? I think it's going to be quite some time before I get the Jotnar edition of God of War Ragnarok Lucy. But if I wanted to know what I could potentially get at mom and grop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
I can't remember. There it is.
Sorry, yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Out today we have Jet Cave Adventure, Xbox One, PC, Solar Blast, Switch, Writhe for Switch, Curling for Switch, Gunslingers and Zombies for Switch, Dinkum for PC, Dread Out for Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One, and of course Pokemon Puzzle League for Nintendo Switch Online. It's looking dry out there, friends.
Good.
No,
hang on. Escape Academy came out this week, and
yeah, this is just for today, though. Just for today. This is just for today, okay? Power Sim is available, and Escape Academy is also available. I think we'll save the. We didn't get any mail, so the Kind of Funny best friends have failed us.
Unbelievable.
I'm going to look at You're Wrong real quickly.
I'm gonna say, did we get anything wrong?
Let's see. It doesn't look like it. Nano says, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Thank you, Nano. Send me a DM. He also said it's report, not repute. I fixed that, but you didn't hear it. Snug Slacks says, not a You're Wrong. Why are you sending it into You're Wrong then?
Delete.
But surprised you didn't mention that 2 days ago marked the 30th anniversary of the original Metal Gear on MSX. Snug Slacks, if you're in the chat, you know why I didn't mention that? Because it was 2 days ago.
Got him.
It's July 15th. If I wanted to mention, why don't I just talk about my birthday, which was like 3 months ago, shall we? Huh? We're talking about things that are happening today. Get a grip, Snug Snacks. I hope you're doing well as well. Nanobiologist also says we are not in a recession, but an analyst says it's imminent, with most companies slowing or freezing hiring. Yeah, Nano.
And
I trust.
The what is it? The CPI. Like things are really bad. We're
yeah, it's bad. Josh DDT says it's pronounced Jotnar. I'm pretty sure I said Jotnar a bunch of times as well. I put both of them in just in case to cover my ass. You know what I'm saying?
I think the American pronunciation is Jotnar.
Yeah, Jotnar. Jotnar.
Oh my god!
Please don't buy the Jotnar edition from scalpers. Tomorrow's hosts are no one because it's the weekend, everyone. Hey, make sure you keep an eye out for the Patreon post later on to see what the lineup is for next week. If you're watching live on Twitch after this, I believe Kevin and Barrett are going to play some Fork Knife. Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to fork and knife it up.
They're going to fork, knife,
knife
wrench. Yeah, knife wrench. You can knife and wrench, mostly wrench. If you want to catch the stream later, subscribe to youtube.com/kindoffunnyplays. This has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, where each and every weekday, live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, we run you through all the nerdy news you need to know about to bring meaning to your lives. Okay? Let's just be honest with it. Okay? We've got a Patreon post show for those that are subbed at the silver level of patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Get on it if you're not. Stick around for that. Otherwise, until next time, laugh and grow fat.